Hey guys, Paul and Chris here. Back with another session of Insight Sessions. I think this is episode 9, Chris. We're not at double figures just yet.
9, número
Nine.
9.
Oh, there we go. So today we're going to be talking about how to start hiring talent for ecom businesses. But the strategies and principles that we'll kind of talk about in here are applicable to most businesses anyway, and they're applicable to your life really as well, in terms of how to bring people into your business, your life, and to buy time from other people. So I've had a few meetings this week with business owners in the ecom space, and they're all, one of the topics they all kind of talk to me about is like, hey, I've got, I'm a mum and I've got 2 kids and I'm doing 60 different tasks in my business. Or, I'm an older mum and, now I've got grandkids, or I'm a dad and, like I'm running my ecom business and, I'm stuck doing this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And I want to spend more time with my kids. And, I'm a dad, so I'm talking about that kind of stuff. Chris is a dog dad, so this is the blind Chris as well. Chris is like, hey, I want more time to walk my dog. Do you know what I mean? For example, whatever you need to do. So when you need to think about, and again, we're talking about hiring without going broke in an ecom business. So there's multiple ways you can start hiring in your business. And I'll give you some examples of how this is applicable too, right? So we've got a client and she sells protection, protection for chest plates for female motocross riders. So for example, you come off and you stack it and you hit a tray or something. This chest plate, protects your breast, right? One of the issues she's trying to solve at the moment, she's like, how can I outsource the sewing of the manufacturer of that business, because then that product then goes inside of like a jersey where it kind of contains it. And she's like, I'm kind of doing them myself. I've looked at doing it overseas. It's a bit expensive. They want huge orders, or I've looked at doing it locally, a local manufacturer. There's a long wait time for that. So we're talking about this yesterday. Again, I'll use her as an example, lovely client. She's amazing. And I'm like, you could effectively get like a couple of mums that, do sewing at home, have the right machinery, and you go, hey, look, I only need you to do like 5 of these a week, 10 of these a week, 20 of these a week, and you got that mum over here and the mum over here and another one over there. And this is a real task-based outcome. Like, I'm going to give you $20 to do that. I know that that's going to take you like, 15 minutes. So you could do 4 in an hour and I'm going to pay you $80. So I could see the kind of switch in her mind when I said that, because prior to that, I think that she kind of thought, I need to hire a full-time person and then I need to keep them busy for 40 hours a week. So I'm like, I've got that person doing, 100 a week. What if I don't sell 100 of these things a week? I'm just kind of bleeding money. So there's different levels when you're starting an ecom business of how you can kind of scale through as well to get started to where you need to get to go. So I'll start at the start. So first thing you can do is base around task-based time. So it's like, I need someone to do social media for me, for example, right? And I need 30 days of posting and I need 30 images and blah, blah, blah. And that's a task-based. And you're like, I'm going to give someone in the Philippines $5. It's going to take them, half an hour. That's a massive amount of money for a Filipino, right? They, so $5 for all of that, blah, blah, blah. They come back to you, they go, yeah, that's going to be, $100 or whatever it is, task based. Then say, for example, if you had, this is where it comes into like economy of scale. Like if you're like, oh, now I have 10 e-commerce businesses, and I need that for 10 e-commerce businesses every month. And you're like, it's cheaper for me to hire that person on maybe a part-time capacity or a full-time capacity, pay them $1,500 a month or whatever it works out to be. Again, I haven't done the maths on this, but, you need to work that out yourself. They're working for you 40 hours a week. They've got a guaranteed income. They're not chasing other people. So you can afford to have that person full-time and you're getting a cheaper cost and you're getting a better output, but you're not, you haven't had to go to that level straight away. So you can do the task-based pricing for as long as you want. Do you know what I mean? And you could have redundancy. So you could have 4 designers in the Philippines. Each one has a different skill set. Each one has a different reliability, because one of them might disappear to the beach and never come back again. And you're like, shit, now I don't know what to do. Do you know what I mean? There's 2. And then another option that you can also explore in ecom business is outcomes as well, right? So it's performance. So you can do, I need you to take our whatever, do something from here, move this to something to here, and I'm going to pay you based on the outcome of that, And then there's ways you can manage outcome payments as well. So it might be like a retainer, with a performance kick as well. So, you know, you start the person off with task based, you move them to like that, full time or something like this. Then you move them to like the next model that I'm kind of talking about, which will be, a retainer. And then if going above and beyond, they're going to get paid extra money as well. So like if I use Chris, for example, we've got an arrange, we work together, Chris gets paid a salary. But if I can go to Chris, go, hey, look, currently we do, if all we did was podcasts, I can go, Chris, I'm going to give you $100 a podcast. He's like, cool. And I'll go, if I don't do it this month, doesn't matter. If I come back next month, we'll do 3, blah, 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 blah. He's like, cool, I get paid for just doing that, Then I move to the next model. It's like, you know what? I want to do like 25 podcasts a week. Okay, I'm going to pay you this. Do you know what I mean? Because it's cheaper than paying task-based. Then I'm like, no, hang on. I want to go to another level again, which will be the retainer plus a performance-based as well. So at all levels of doing that, though, like I'm in control of how much I'm paying, and I'm ascending my payments to that person based on their output and what I want from them as well. So is that making sense with my rambling?
Yeah. No, $100 a podcast sounds pretty good. We should I'll take that deal. No, it makes a lot of sense because the underlying issue with this, or I guess the underlying challenge for, as you said, any type of business is I'm maxed out as the owner. I'm working 100-hour weeks and I'm trying to live a life. But the first thing a lot of people go to, okay, I need an employee. Okay, now I've got to set up a business. I've got to get an employee. I've got to pay taxes. I've got to blah, 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 blah. And they kind of jump the gun rather than going, and this has actually been really interesting for me because when I started my first agency, it was 2002, very different to 2022, where, as you said, like literally now the globalization of the world and of people you can hire, you can go around the world and find the best talent from all over the world. Whereas we had 30 people in an office that lived in Melbourne because that was how you hired, and they were all employees. So very, very different ecosystem to how you're able to grow a business today because you do have that access to. It's an amazing talent for really good rates for me as the business owner. So I can sort of start piecemeal. And he said, here's a chunk of work that either I'm not great at or someone could definitely do better than me or cheaper than me. If I value, as the CEO, I value my time at $500 an hour, $200 an hour. Anything under that is basically something I can delegate. If I can pay, if I'm doing it, it's costing me $250 an hour. If I can pay someone $20 an hour or $10 an hour, it's saving me a lot of money. And there's opportunity cost in that as well that is really important to understand, that if you are doing the work as the owner, it's literally costing you more money because your time's not being invested in strategy and growth and the stuff that you really should be doing as the business owner. But yeah, you get that I like that piecemeal approach of like, here's a task, here's a set of tasks, get some people in for not much money, $100 a month, couple $100 a month. And now that thing's not a headache for me anymore. And in fact, it's probably getting done better because rather than me splitting my 100% across 20 things and putting 10% energy into everything, this person's putting 100% into that thing now. So that's going to improve. So there's a lot of benefits to
my only comment with that. Yeah, 100%. My only comment with that though is my personal model with all of my businesses is you start off people at that base level. If they're good, once they're proven they're good after like 2-3 months, if they still kept coming to work for you after 2-3 months of doing task-based outcomes, fill them up with as much work as you can profitably, as quick as you can, so that you own them, for a lack of a better term. You want them on your team full time, like, because you don't want them getting opportunities from other people, blah, blah, blah. Like, and then you got to go back to the start again and train them all over again. Do you know what I mean? Like if I worked for Chris and I learned everything I know from Chris, on my task-based outcomes, and then like 6 months from now, I'm like, hey, Chris, I got offered a job somewhere else. Chris would go, oh, shit, what a waste. You know what I mean? Now I've got to find another pool. So have that in your mindset that like start there because you need to do that to be able to afford them. Get to them to that level because you can't lose them. In saying that, everybody's replaceable, so don't think like that. Anyway, you'll fire someone else, and you don't never usually hire shittier staff. You always get better staff, and then get them to that point where they have complete ownership in what they're doing, and away you go. So there was something else I wanted to say as well, and it's completely slipped my mind that was important with this as well. So if you've got anything to add, feel free to jump in whilst I try to think about what I was going to say.
No, I think that's a really important piece of the puzzle as well. Is we're sort of talking about like when to hire and sort of what stage the business should be in to hire. But I like that staged approach, and like as much as you say you want to own the person, you want to own them in a really positive way, right? If they're very good talent, you want them full time in your business. So that idea of stacking their work up so that they have to work for you full time. And then making that transition. But I think another piece on that is kind of, do you sort of look at setting that expectation from the start? Like even
Absolutely.
like in that conversation, it's like, hey, look, I need help in my business. Here's what my business looks like. Here's all the stuff that I'm doing. I need help with this piece here. I think you'd be great to do this piece. But if you can help me with that, I'm looking for long-term relationships. I want to grow you in the business. I'm going to teach you a bunch of stuff along the way. Hopefully there is an ascension here. I'm not just looking for someone to come and do some stuff. I'm looking for a long-term relationship. So I think setting that up expectation up front can also help to be like, okay, look, I'm working for $10 an hour today, but in a couple months I could be earning $2,000 a month.
Yeah. So I mean,
I think that expectation setting.
You can speak about that where we have that relationship. I met Chris like say 9 months, 10 months, 11 months ago, and I'm like, hey man, look, I know you're super talented with what you do. I can't afford to give you $300,000 a year. Can we start here? Can we scale to here? And if we hit this, this is what it's going to look like, kind of thing. And we've done all of that. Do you know what I mean? And I've done that. I do that with very high level people like Chris, like Jay, like Michelle in our team, where it's like, this is my vision, guys. You know what I mean? And if they buy into your vision, and it's got to be a legit vision, don't bullshit people. Like right now, I've got a 7-figure agency. I want to have a 7-figure agency that does 7 figures a month. This is how I'm going to get there. I need people like you to help me do that. And this is what it's going to look like from a remuneration point of view. Right now, we all get, this is not applicable to us, but right now, everyone gets paid shit, but 3 months from now, everyone's going to get paid like market rate. 6 months from now, everyone's going to get paid like double rate. When we sell, we're going to get this. People go, I get that. I'm on board with that, and I want to be part of that. That's super exciting, right? The other thing that I was going to mention as well is when you do this, a lot of people are like, I know this is supposed to be a short episode. I'm terrible at short episodes, but people are always like, I'll hire staff and I'll hire VAs and I'll hire this and then I'll piss off to the beach. That is like such the completely wrong mindset whatsoever. I hire smart people like Chris and like Jay and like Michelle, and I'm like, I do this task that I'm pretty good at. You're better at it than me, and you're faster at it than me, and you're going to make me more money doing it. I'm going to pay you to do that bit for me, and then I'm going to move on to this other task, which is hopefully a high level task, right? That I can make even more money. So I move from doing like, Chris does super high level strategy. I then go, okay, cool. How do I give Chris lots of clients to work on, right? So it's the same as if you think about like right now, I'm at home. So far, I've had a dude come, my dad, has come through. He's cut my grass, took him an hour, paid him $40. I had a dog walker. They come through, chick walk my dog, $20 for an hour. I had a cleaner come through, clean my house for 3 hours, cost me $100. So I spent $300 to buy 5 hours of work almost. During that 5 hours of work, I'm on a phone call with Jay selling a $6,000 website to a client. So rather than me wasting all that, and I can do 3 of those calls in 3 hours. We sell $15,000 of websites in 3 hours, or I can cut my grass and walk my dog. I can walk my dog after hours. That's great. You know what I mean? But I don't enjoy cutting the grass. You need to think like that too. So you're like, if I'm going to buy the time, where is my time moving to as well? So move it into ascending tasks that create more money for the business. So again, if we go full circle, like with Steph, for example, instead of her sewing the products and stuff, she'll go, cool, now I've got more time to talk to more retailers. I'm going to get more retailers on board to sell more product. And then away we go. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of what you need to think about. As an e-commerce point of view, you're like, cool, I'm paying someone $15 an hour, $20 an hour, whatever it is, 3 hours a day to pack my orders. I'm now going to find more products. I'm going to now find more customers. So it's important that you don't delegate tasks away from yourself and then just go to the beach. So,
Yeah, super. Because that's the vision, right? You set the vision for people, and like, right, you guys run the business, I'm off. It's not really sticking to the vision, right? And it's a very quick way to lose a business and to piss people off and lose them. So, yeah,
we'll talk about that.
That was a really nice point.
We'll talk about that in the future. What you do once you're crushing it and you got like 50 staff, or I can talk what you do when you got like 25 staff, because we've got 25 staff here. So I know, and at peak, my other business had, I don't know, 10 staff or 12 staff or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So you never really walk away from your business. Just to wrap this whole episode up, there's always got to have your foot in the door. If you don't have your foot in the door, shit goes pear-shaped really quickly. So, anyway, do you have anything you want to add before that on our super short episode that went like double the length that it should have gone?
16 minutes, not too bad. No, I think that's been super valuable. I think as we might make this a bit of a two-parter, and I think the next interesting piece is great. I want to do that. How do I hire? Where do I find people? How do I get that done? So we might do a part 2 of this and get into that. How do I find people? Where do I go? How do I find that good talent? Because actually there's plenty of talent out there, but getting good talent, trustworthy talent, people that are going to actually commit, stay with your business, loyal people, all that kind of good stuff, can be a bit of a trick. So that we might do a part 2 following on and get into the how of this a bit. But yeah, I think that was a super valuable episode for the folks at home.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks, guys. As Chris said in every episode, wherever those share comment buttons, please comment. Like, if you think I talk crap, tell me. If you like it, please tell me. Like, we want to hear what you got to say. So thanks for listening. And we'll talk to you next time.
Yeah. Comment, like, share, subscribe. That's the other one. Subscribe. Get all that.
Swipe right.
Swipe right.
Left,
Swipe right.
Yeah.
All right, folks. We'll catch you on the next one. See ya.